welcome to the Downtown Scoop, your Downtown Canton Partnership podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Dukes, and I'm here with Mike Sternavant. What's going on, Mike?
How's it going?
Yo, he says funny stuff right before we get started. So when you see me like chuckling, I promise you I'm not crazy. Like Mike just does this. We have like a countdown and he'll say something right before I hit it.
I do it on purpose. It keeps things spicy before we go live, you know?
Of course, always fun. I am excited about I say this every episode, but I really am excited, guys.
But we need it this time. We say that every episode too, but we really do.
But that's because there's a lot of exciting things, a lot of exciting events, a lot of exciting organizations in Canton right now. And I just really love that we get to highlight it. This one particularly, I told them when they came on, they literally have been popping up everywhere.
We have Canton's newest two celebrities on our podcast because they're literally everywhere. It was like, it's something like they went from like, hey, brand new organization to everywhere, like overnight, which is
literally
fantastic. Yeah. So it's great that now they're popping up on the Scoop podcast because we're the coolest place around and they need to be on it.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to really introduce them. For those of you who don't know, welcome, because we're going to get to know all what they're about and other places that they're going to be popping up in their purpose, because I'm sure you've seen them around. I'm positive.
I like that.
Yeah. So I'm good, right?
Professionally.
Guys, help me welcome the founders of Walking with a Purpose. Hi, guys. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Going on? I'm Tony. I'm Ron. We're walking with a purpose.
Yes. Thank you. So, Tony and Ron, first of all, I love that you made the time to sit down with us today. Please tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got started with Walking with a Purpose.
First of all, I'm Ron Seymour, born and raised in Canton, Ohio. First of all, we started Walking with a Purpose. Was one of those things where I had already wanted to do something with the youth. Tony was doing things with business-wise. He had multiple businesses. So, I mean, things didn't fall through for us, right, how we planned on. And he came to me and said he was ready to start a nonprofit and deal with these kids. So we just came together. He came up with the name and we took off.
I love that. Tell me why it was important for you to start a nonprofit for the youth, because not everybody has a heart for the youth, and there's lots of nonprofits out there. Why was it important for the youth? Because you guys seem to really go hard.
I feel like we both can relate to the youth. We got different backgrounds, but we can relate in different ways. And I think that's what the city and the community needs as far as being able to reach these kids, is some individuals who can relate and be able to reach them in different ways.
How did we come up with Walking with a Purpose?
I don't know. We were just brainstorming on names, and I let them know that like we got to come up with something. The thing was like, okay, what's your purpose? Like, bro, what is our purpose? Like, what's your purpose? So I was like, we just got to come up with a name that got purpose in it. So brainstormed a little bit, and just came up like, well, we're gonna be walking in it. So just walking with a purpose, and it came about it, and we've been WAPing ever since.
I love it. I do love the WAP reference too, because if you're dealing with the youth, you really have to like identify with them. So I love that.
Yeah. You gotta be able to. You gotta be able to not just relate, but be able to catch their eye. You know what I'm saying? The name, and we got a little swag to us, so they relate to us, attract to us by that too. So. Just being able to make the kids feel comfortable, make us feel good too.
I love that.
And I love what you said earlier about having an idea that didn't work out and then this came up, because I always tell people, like, if you're following your passion and you're doing things the right way and you're really trying to make an impact, the right thing will happen how it's supposed to. And clearly, with how much groundwork you guys have covered in such a very, very short amount of time compared to like what it takes most organizations, it's very clear that this is what you guys are supposed to be doing and when. How long ago did you guys get together and form Walking with a Purpose?
April last year.
So little,
About,
you guys
about
have done a lot
16
these
months,
days.
I guess, something like that. 15, 16 months, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys have got done a lot in a little over a year, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
We ain't done, Mike. We got a long way to go. We just getting started.
So what is walking with the purpose for the youth? What is the message that you want to portray to them?
That we're their voice, and that they have a voice, and that we're gonna be the ones to push it for them. That's the purpose. Yeah, that's the purpose.
And to be able to come together, we want them to know that you can still come together and make things happen. A lot of times kids get discouraged because of something maybe somebody else said or what somebody's not doing, or just whatever, you know what I'm saying? So just letting kids know, you can do whatever.
And you're not alone. We got your
you ain't
back.
alone.
Yeah,
I love that. That is so important because I think especially and it's always been real, but now kids needing to be heard and feeling like they do have a voice. I have a 14-year-old daughter. She constantly feels like nobody understands. So,
right.
and you have your parents, but who thinks their parents actually understand?
Right.
So I love that there's these outlets for kids who like, oh, they get me, they understand me. I can identify with them because they know what I'm going through. Because I think sometimes on accident, parents portray themselves as being these perfect individuals to our kids because we want them to only see the good in us. We want to be the best. And we forget that they need to know both sides. They need to know the struggle and how adversity comes because they're going to face it. They face it all the time.
Right.
We try to shield that for them. As parents, we want to protect them. There's nothing wrong with that either. But that's why as a community, I love that, these other options are out there for them. Some kids have none of that. So this may be the only place that they've been heard. So I think that that's very important. That goes with a lot of mental health and emotional health. These kids are emotional. They're all growing up. They have different hormones and things that they may not even understand. So I think that it's very important to have that and to have a solid foundation. That's why I love you guys. Like we joke like, oh, you popping up everywhere. But what you're showing them is consistency.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
As
what
an
it is.
adult, I love consistency. Children need it. They need that consistency to build that trust. So
If you really pay attention, it was brought to my attention a couple of times. But if you look over the past year since we've been WAPing, the crime rate actually has went down.
Mm-hmm.
If you really pay attention to that, it really has. And that's only because I feel like we're giving someone something to do. They don't have nothing to do, so they find something. But right now we're giving everybody something to do, so they don't have time to get off into all that.
And then people, not only that, people is anticipating this. The youth is anticipating it when we advertising these block parties and stuff. Like they're like, oh man, I can't wait to the block party, and they want to see what's going on, what we have for them.
What's next? Where's what?
I love that. How do you guys handle that pressure?
No pressure.
I mean,
I love that.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was kind of like, man, but now it's like, we built for this, so
no pressure.
Well,
yeah.
and
Kids will do that.
I've gotten to know you guys personally the last few months and love you guys, as you know, but there's three things to me that really stand out about what you guys are doing. One, the fact you call it whopping. I've loved it. I think it's one of the greatest things ever, and it's catchy. Two, your shoe game you guys consistently have. That goes a long way with me because we respect that.
Yeah,
but
for
three, there is such a need in our community, and the real one, jokes aside, for organizations that support youth in our community. As you said, like, do we love Canton? Yes. Did we have a long way to go? Is Canton perfect? No, and nobody is claiming it is, but there's a lot of people that talk big game, and then there's people that do. And you guys are the few that are doing. But there's also a lot of organizations in this realm. And it's very easy when you have a lot of organizations in the same space to start competing. And one thing I love that you guys are doing is from the very beginning, it's like, no, let's collaborate together.
Yes.
Right? Let's work together to tackle this. So can you just talk about some of the other organizations that you've partnered with and how you guys have done it?
So WAP look at competing as a sin, Mike. It's a sin to compete if you WAPing. But we definitely we have some great community partners. We love our community partners because with all of us together, it makes it so much better. So we got enrichment. We love Grandma Betty and the enrichment program.
Yes.
We love Lucas Live Media. We love what the Urban League is doing over there on the Southeast. The YMCA. It's so many to name really because we partner with everybody. The city, the camp police, camp fire department, you guys. So instead of naming them, we just want to salute everybody who's doing what it takes to make Canton better. This is our city. This is our community. So it takes us as a whole to make it great. And that's our main objective here is just to collaborate and make it great, man. Let people come in to talk about all the great things that are going on instead of the crime rate or the bad things. We want to bring the publicity for the good and raise the youth up to put them in position. Like we don't want to do this forever, Mike. We want to pass the baton real fast too, for real. But we want to raise them up to put them in position to make continue to be great.
I love that. That is the purpose. When Mike approached me about hosting a podcast, that was his whole vision of it. And he's like, we got to focus on the good. There's so much going on in the city constantly, and it gets overshadowed so much by the minor negativity. Don't get me wrong. There's things that happen, but there's things that happens everywhere, every day.
Right.
And it's that minor negative people that yell the loudest and make the most noise and get the most attention. And that's a problem, right? Because there's so many amazing people doing amazing things, and you guys are two of them. And it's like, okay, it's time to turn that spotlight to positivity. And that's like Amanda said, the whole point in doing this. And you guys were, we always say there's a lot of people that were like high on the list when we started the podcast that we just had to wait just because of like the calendar of events to get them on. We had Miss Betty on a few weeks ago, and she actually spoke about you guys and said they call me Grandma Betty, which was hilarious. When you mentioned that, because we're not that emboldened, or to do that. It's straight Miss Betty. I don't think you guys can.
I started with her in school, so why I always called her Miss Betty. So.
Right. They say we pretty bold.
But you know what? I love that. I think kids need that. I was listening to a sermon about boldness actually last week, and it's just something that you don't see a lot of. A lot of the times with all the negativity, there becomes this mental fear of being bold. Like, oh man, it's going to come with this. It's going to come with that. It's not going to be worth it. And a lot of times, so many blessings are built in the boldness that we forget that it's that, like stepping out on that boldness for yourself and for your purpose and whatever, God placed in your heart, that it's that, like that's where the blessing
you got to be able to stand for something, man. And we those two, we going to stand for these kids. And that's for sure. We like y'all said, there's other organizations too in the city that's doing stuff. We salute them. But as far as like having the voice and being out here, like, and being in these kids' face, like we the ones. We show up to the camps around the city. We show up we show up wherever the kids is at. We there. So they might not know our names, but they see our faces.
Exactly, that consistency. They're like, oh, they're around. Didn't I just see them over here? They was at the last event. Whether they don't say nothing until the 10th event they see you at, they see you, and it matters.
And sometimes we get 2-3 events a day. Like we really go that hard.
Love that. I love that. So tell me what's next. What's coming up for WAP? What are we whopping into next? I'm about to take this so cheesy. Don't like
you got to put it up. You got to put it up. Where's WAP? It's like where's Waldo, but where's WAP?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We need shirts.
Yeah, where's WAP? On the way. They're on the way.
Yes.
You're gonna spell your next T-shirt. Where's WAP? I love it.
Where's WAP? On the back is gonna say everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what we got next, guys? What's
coming up? Our next event is the Youth Extravaganza downtown at Centennial Plaza. That's on August 10th. From 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'll see it on the screen. We're gonna have pretty much the same thing we've been doing with the past block parties. Talent acts, performers, food vendors, vendors, selling merchandise or whatever they got, whatever products or whatever information they have, they will provide that. We're gonna have the fire department out there, the police department, enrichment, all type of performances and stuff. So pretty much the same thing. We expect the one on the 10th to be just as big as the other ones, if not bigger.
I love you mentioned so many different areas of interest in one event. Like you had the fire department, the police department, you have arts, you have design, you have everything.
Yeah, food, all that,
the food, everything.
Music, entertainment, yeah, it's all there.
I absolutely love that because you're touching it's something for everybody. You're touching so many pieces. And yes, it is for the kids, but it is inspiring for us adults too to see you guys, because something about watching people in their passion, it is inspiring. So I love
it's a family-oriented event. We bring the whole family out. It's not just for the kids.
I love that because I like doing things with my kids, and I like when they have other things to do, because like they have video games, they have this stuff, but I want to make sure that they know about their community, that they see people in the community, because it starts with you. We talked about this with Miss Betty. Forward in our community and making it better, making real change, it has to start with the youth, because we may not actually see the full change in our but they can. It's with them. So starting with them is how the real change occurs. And I think that got lost a little bit over the years, but I have seen such a flood of it these past couple years, and I have not been happier. And it's
the problem is somewhere along the line, somebody decided to hold on to all the knowledge and the basic life skills. And then after that generation skip, COVID came along and they were stuck in the house, not learning anything. So now we're in a situation to where we have to attack that generation before us to get back that knowledge and pass down to the younger ones. So speaking on that, we're having 1,000 youth march, 1,000 youth walk in October. It's October the 5th. We're going to walk from downtown Centennial to the monument. We're expecting, we made this a community event. We say 1,000 youth, but we're expecting well over 1,000 altogether. The reason why we wanted to make this a community event is because we wanted everybody to be hands-on with this project to show the community that we all can get together, show the kids that all of us can put our differences to the side and work together to make something great for them. Like our thing is, it doesn't matter how our feelings or how we feel about each other or whatever, as long as we're doing it for the kids, I'll work with you. I don't care about how you feel about me personally, because personally, we don't even know each other. When you look at me, you're looking at WWAP. And that's how I'm going about this. Personally, I don't even really matter to you. But if these kids matter, then you're going to walk with WWAP. You know what I mean? And so we got great community partners. A lot of the ones I just named that's doing our block parties with us, that's coming in, and we have a community meetings on Tuesdays and Saturdays in Richmond with all the community partners, planning our committee, forming our committee, and planning the event itself. We also have a group of youth, a youth committee, a group of youth from McKinley High that's also a part of it, and they're gonna let us know what they want to see out of this and what they're trying to get from this event. It's something like the Million Man March just for the kids. We're trying to make history in two ways. We're trying to be the first ones to do this 1,000 youth, and we also trying to make history by bringing everybody together here in this city to show that we can do this.
I love this concept completely because it stems from a place of love, not kind of a place of pain. I think the Million Man March was kind of a place of pain.
Right.
And this is coming from it from a different perspective. And I applaud you guys for even thinking of that and coming up with that and really having just that vision, because I think that that's absolutely beautiful. And you're getting the kids' actual voice and what do you want to see out of this. And again, just how you're involving everybody. This is different. And I love different. I love that you guys are really trying to think outside of the box, but not even outside the box. You really think about what these like, okay, but how can we reach them? How do we get like
Right.
you're
That's the main thing right there, man, is reaching them. How can we reach them? You know, everybody got you can come up with a million ideas and a million things to do, but for number one, you gotta be able to reach the kids. You gotta capture that.
Not only reach them, but keep them.
Yeah.
Like we can reach them, but we got to keep them. That's the main goal is keeping them. So yeah, we definitely focus on doing that because we do have we're working on quarterly initiatives after the walk for them to also have, so we just don't leave them high and dry like everybody else do.
Yeah, that's man. It's they
like,
feel a purpose when they walk.
Yes.
And I love that.
It's contagious, man. It's catchy.
I love it. That is great.
You guys came up with the most catchy tagline of all time, so kudos to you because it's fantastic. But
appreciate it.
And maybe you guys can correct because you're far more the experts on this than me. But I think when you're working with that like teen, preteen type thing, or I should say thing, age range, I apologize. As much as even if those kids don't want to admit it, they're kind of looking for that structure and stability a little bit. And two, they're just looking, like you said earlier, and you made a good point, somebody that hears them, understands them, believes in them, and just buys into them. Mm-hmm. Something that easy as just saying, listen, I hear you. Here's what we're going to do. We believe in what your goals and your dreams are. Goes such a long way because a lot of these kids, they've never had that. And
right.
Some of us take that for granted, and it's just something you guys are doing that's fantastic.
Appreciate it, Mike.
You guys made the perspective. You kind of opened my eyes a little bit about how the kids before, like they kind of got lost. They stopped teaching them the basic life skills. Then COVID hit, and they still weren't learning anything. And we were it was just a different world. And now we're kind of playing catch up. I never thought of it that way. But that was such a great point because when you see the issue and how it happened, we know how to shift and to fix it. And it was funny because I was just talking to Miss Betty at the African American Cultural Fest that in Richmond had, Cultural and Arts Festival that Richmond had, and we were talking about sewing classes and how like you don't really see anything like that going on anymore. And she's like, "Oh, that's a really good idea." And I was like, this used not be an issue. Like we used to do this in school. Like why are we running around for sewing classes and cooking classes and things like that? Like it's
right.
Great. Basic life skills, but even the skills of communication are different. Yep. They're shifting with this generation, and I think that's not discussed enough. I think they keep the same things are being taught, but we're shifting in how children communicate, how adults communicate. And so how do we build a connection with the different forms of communication that we have out here that really needs to be portrayed, I think.
So for somebody old like me, you were talking about how, like we stopped teaching those basic
learning. Like you.
Like me. A few years before the pandemic, and then you had 2020. So for an older person, you're like, like 6 years goes by. But if you're a kid that's 13, 6 years
that's half of your life.
Is such a pivotal time in your life to learn these skills. So for us to be like, 6 years went by. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. But those are like vital years in a teenager's life where this kind of stuff was happening. And it just like when you said that, it like that clicked for me to be like, oh man, yeah, like this is like half their life in some of these instances. And like, so just when you said that was just something to me that like clicked, and I'm like, okay, we need to call that out because for maybe people that maybe no longer under the age of 40 anymore, like myself. That's hard to believe because I'm so handsome, but I am now over the age of 40. But that might not have clicked, but it clicked for me when you said that. It's like, man, this is a vital time for this kind of things to be, you guys to be doing what you're doing.
That's so true.
You're playing catch up. You're playing a lot of catch up.
Well, you can think about even adults, how much we've changed. I'll speak for myself, how much I've changed and learned in 6 years. Right. Imagine that, like, that's your whole job. And no, like from then until like that's their whole job is to learn, to change and grow. And when they're missing a chunk of learning, that's huge.
Such pivotal years in their development. It's crazy. And that just never crossed my mind until you guys said that.
That's how childhood trauma is formed.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But also, I mean, coronavirus also helped us come up with walking with a purpose. So, I mean, when you sit people down, you know what I'm saying, kids, adults, whatever, you sit people down for a certain amount of time. I mean, only thing they got is their minds to use. So you come up with all type of creative things and stuff. So we came up with walking with a purpose.
I love knowing that. I agree. I started a business in COVID years.
Yeah.
We're all like,
it was good. It was good for us, but it was vital to the kids. You know what I mean? Like for us, we used that time to come up with some stuff, but to them, they were just stuck on the phone still. They're stuck on the game now. You know what I mean? So it was crucial to them.
I want to point something out too, to mostly our audience, if y'all not catching it. Every time we talk about, them, their business, what they're doing, they put it right back to the kids. The kids need this. Like, yes, it's for us, but it's vital to them. So if you questioned it a little bit in this conversation, how passionate they are and where they are about walking with a purpose and what they're actually doing, that right there alone is just proof. And I commend you guys. You guys are amazing, humble men, and we need that. We need that. Not just in Canton. Not just in Canton. We need that everywhere.
We're starting here though. We're gonna be everywhere. We just starting here though.
I love that. Yes. I love that, and I'm excited to see that happen because it's necessary.
Well, y'all make sure y'all come out to our events, man. Make sure y'all come out to the block.
I've already got the comfortable shoes picked out for the march. I'm definitely gonna be there, whopping with you guys down the street.
My old man shoe, Mike. Walking shoes.
I got my Nike Monarchs ready, the wide ones.
I might go get some of them old man.
Silver and blue.
My Jordans ain't comfortable enough.
They're not comfortable. They are not. They're made for looks, not comfort.
That's it.
I also want to thank you guys from a Downtown Canton partnership part, because a lot of people we've had on, we've tied back into First Friday because it is such an important thing in Downtown Canton. So we talked about this with Miss Betty, and we've talked about it with a few other people, but one of the point of like finding something for youth to do this year, we implemented the Youth and Family Zone at the Eric Snow YMCA with Jenny, and some of the organizations help with that is Tom Todd in Richmond and Jonathan Becker we had on, but you guys are also a part of that as well and dove in and helped us say, hey, let's get this done, let's create it, and you guys have been instrumental in that. So thank you guys for that too, because that has made such a huge difference. And it just came up, we had our partnership board meeting the other day, and people from the city, like the mayor and planner, pointed out, like, this is such a great thing you guys are doing. And like, we were kind of, not sure the first time you do something, and the first month, it was actually a good turnout, but now month to month, it just keeps growing. Right. We promote it, you put it together, and you guys were vital to that. So hats off to you guys. And from a company standpoint, thank you for that, because it's making a huge difference in our event and downtown as a whole.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Well, the community thanks you. We thank you, and we're excited to get at these events and help promote everything.
We're ready to walk with you.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep doing it.
I cannot. If you guys want to learn more, you guys can go to their website at wapvillage.com, WWAPvillage.com, and follow them on Facebook to keep up to date with all their events. When I tell you they literally pop up everywhere, I'm telling you guys they pop up. I literally was driving through the park one day. I was like, what is going on down there? I seen in Richmond, I seen Texas, and it was you guys. I was like, I did not even know they were, because you had just did something like the week before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they really are everywhere. So I love it. So you guys stay up to date. Follow them on Facebook.
Just show up downtown any day at any time and stroll around. You're going to run into them. You run into the coffee shop, I run them at the tea shop, I run into them everywhere.
That is amazing. Amazing. Hey guys, thank you again. Thank you for joining us, and we're excied to see how this grows.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Walk.
Keep walking. Bye guys.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I knew that was
Guys,
going to be
right?
a great interview, but oh my gosh. Like they made me excited as a mom. They made my heart warm because we need that. We need that in our schools. We need that in the city. We need that everywhere. So I'm excited. I have nothing else. I hope you guys share this podcast. I think this is definitely one that, you know, really needs to get out there because they're just starting. So let's help them grow. Let's be a community and help them grow and help their purpose. They have such a passionate purpose that's needed everywhere.
I was introduced to them in the spring from Jonathan Becker, our first Friday manager, when they were first kicking around the idea. And they had some ideas of some mural things, and we met at Carpe Diem. And it was the same thing. I was like, these guys are like,
man,
awesome. Like you just had a meeting and they were just throwing around like, oh, we're working on some of these brainstorming things. They're like, damn, this is good stuff, right? I left there so impressed, and then literally have just seen them like 3 times a week in the most random places everywhere. Every event I go to, they're there. They're just downtown. They're moving around, like they're hustling. And it's like to get something started, like you said, you're not talking about it. They are definitely, you know, about it. They're killing it.
And you know that we feel like that while talking to them, right? You know, the kids feel like that. So imagine how they
not be inspired.
Yes, and like encouraged, and because they're again, kids, they can listen to you talk all day. They want to see action. Like if I keep saying, "Oh, it's important to clean" to my kids, and I'm not cleaning up, do you think they're going to take me seriously? No.
Probably not.
They'll be like, "Well, Mom, your shoes are right there," and they will call you out in a minute. So
listen, nothing is more honest than a kid.
I love it.
Really honest.
But I love it. These guys are being about it. So yes, let's
awesome.
continue to support them as a community, guys, and let's keep whopping.
Like the march. I'm so excited. Keep whopping. I'm
My
putting
kids
that
are gonna hate me for saying they're like, Mom.
When we post this podcast, I'm putting that description. We're whopping with walking with purpose.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gonna pop down to the Centennial event, but I'm all over. I want to be a part of that walk because that's gonna be
that'll be great.
Magical thing. So put that in your calendars. Come join us. I'm gonna make sure Amanda comes. I'm gonna get her there.
I'll be there. My children will be walking.
Yeah, I will not be wearing the dad shoes. I'll be wearing comfortable shoes. I might be. You never know. We'll see. But I can't wait for that because when they first told me about that, it went right on the calendar while I was in conversation. So I didn't schedule anything else because it's such a cool idea. And like you said, taking something that had happened historically and changing the purpose of it, I just think it's so cool. But like here locally, right? Taking something that was like a national culture, historical shifting thing and kind of reinventing it a little bit to serve people right here in our community. I'm with you. I was like, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, and open your eyes. There's big stuff happening here.
Get out of repository Facebook comments and start focusing on positive stuff.
Come on, say it louder.
I am, but they're such good people.
Yes.
Excuse me, doing such.
Dang, Mike, we are on a podcast. I know I want you to be comfortable, but gee.
But we talk about, like I mentioned in the last episode, I sound like a broken record on this. But the point of this podcast is to talk about the people because there's amazing people doing incredible things and they don't get the spotlight because they're not the ones that talk and yell and make a big deal of the loudest. It's time to put the spotlight on these guys and the Miss Bettys and the Jonathan Beckers who are doing great things and all the people in the cultural events. It's time to put the spotlight on the people that are doing positive things, not the negative.
I love it.
I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. I'm done. We're good.
You get what you focus on. Honestly,
Agreed.
It's like, okay, let's give it an example. I'm going to dumb it down here just a little bit. When you get a car that you have, never had before, now you see that same car, like now everybody has the same car as me, but you're focused on it. You're focused now. That is the purpose of this, focusing on the good so you can start seeing how much good and big things are happening. So thank you guys.
That's some experience, man. When you start welcoming positive people in your life changes for the positive. I know that sounds tacky, but if you surround yourself in negativity, negative people, you no matter how mentally strong you are, you become a product of the people around you, in the environment around you. And hence why we just bring all the good people on our podcast so we can be happy-go-lucky every day.
He asked me.
Exactly.
Mike, thank you. As always, it's always a pleasure, guys. Until next time, we will see you We're gonna be scooping. We get to, now I want to come up with something. We gotta be
Scooping while we're whopping in October.
I'm shutting it down.